Hey guys, Dior's here. Sorry, this is take three. My computer is really determined on giving me enough technical difficulties to prevent me from trying to successfully record this video. But I'm going to give this thing a big middle finger and try to record this video in complete defiance anyway. So, forgive me for the impromptu-ness of this video, but I shouldn't say I just got done. I should say probably about a half hour ago, if not longer, I just got done watching Wayne's video. Wayne from Ungrateful Pesant, aka formerly known as West Wind Survival, made an excellent video entitled 1911's Don't Suck, You Do. Wayne, I'd say good video, good points, and can't say I agree with you 100%, but let bygones be bygones, right? So, I'm not crazy about the 1911. It's not to say I've never fired one. One of my best friends happens to work at the same place that I do. Got to shoot his Kimber 1911. No, Kimber, it's not top of the line. Well, it's like I said, it's not top of the line like a Gold Cup Series 1911, and it's sure as hell not bottom of the barrel like a Taurus 1911. It's kind of a nice happy medium, maybe a little bit better than average. Okay, got to shoot that nice gun. Very, very smooth, very, very accurate. Literally hands down, probably the smoothest trigger pull out of any gun I've ever fired, ever, hands down. Pistol, rifle, anything. Excuse me. That being said, though, I have no plans in the near future of going out and trying to buy a 1911. That is not to say that if I don't happen to run across one that is of decent price that's in the correct configuration that I like, that I might not consider picking one up. But right now, as it stands, I don't care to own a 1911. I don't. I just don't. And I'm going to go through some of the reasons why. So, long story, into the reason why I don't have a 1911 and probably won't get one anytime soon. So, back in college, actually, I should say shortly right after I graduated college, I was getting into guns. I was getting into shotguns. I was trying to get into handguns. And at that time, we had that first major ammo crisis, if any of you gun guys and preppers remember that. It was impossible to get 22 long rifle and 22 short, 223, 5.56, and of course 9mm parabellum. Actually, in my area, it was quite literally almost impossible to get 9mm anywhere back where I used to live. And at the time, not knowing a whole lot about different pistol calibers or really much about pistols in general, I thought to myself, well, what's the next bullet size up that I'm familiar with? Oh, yeah, 45 ACP. What's chambered in 45 ACP? 1911. I think I'm going to get that gun. And that was something that both myself and my dad definitely considered going out and getting. Problem was, when I went to go do some shopping, and like I said, I did a lot of window shopping, couldn't find a single 1911 to save my life that was in the price range that I could afford at that time. At that time, I could only afford maybe $400, if even that, for a pistol. Maybe 400. The cheapest 1911 I'd seen over at a pawn shop was, I want to say, about $900. And I explained to the guy at the pawn shop that I couldn't afford that. He's like, the lowest I can go is like 700, maybe 750, maybe $800. It's like, I cannot afford that. That time, I think I only had maybe a couple guns, but not a single one of the guns I own were more than $300. True story. So, enter in this piece of shit, this glorious piece of shit known as the Haskell High Point, model JHP, chambered in 45 ACP. Let's take a good look at this hunk of shit. And sorry I'm calling it a hunk of shit, but compared to all the other pistols I've shot and all the other pistols I've owned, this thing hands down is the ugliest. But cheap gun, $200, does exactly what I ask. Pull the trigger, it shoots. Have the sights aimed in the general area, I generally hit the target that I'm aiming at. So this ended up being my first gun. Now, granted, this particular gun isn't mine. It never has been. I'm just borrowing it strictly for this video. This gun comes standard with 9-round single stack mags. It is California compliant. I freaking hate this slide, dude. This thing sucks so bad. That's right. Forget it every time. For some reason, in order to get the slide locked back, you need to have an empty mag in there. Yeah, California compliant. Yeah, like I said, 9+1. Even at the time, even the most expensive 1911's, this thing still held between 1 to 2 additional more rounds than those 1911's. And this gun was almost the same size. Almost the same size in terms of, like I said, in terms of exterior profile. You know what I mean? With the exception of probably the slide's a little bit thicker on this. The pistol grips are definitely thicker on this. Probably about the same. Yeah. 9-round single stack. That ended up being my gun, my carry gun for, well, actually I couldn't say I really carried it all that much, but that ended up being my gun. That ended up being my handgun all the way up until past I got out of the, until after I got out of the Navy. So, yeah. After I got out of the Navy, like I said, this is a few months later down the road, I ended up eventually upgrading from the High Point to this. This is the Springfield XD Mod 2 series pistol. Yeah, I get it. Combat. Compared that to a steel frame, like I said, a steel frame, freaking 1911. This is a piece of combat Tupperware. I get it. Polymer. Not great, but significant upgrade from the High Point. While I was in the Navy, the only pistol I got to shoot was the Beretta M9 series. And we'll get to that gun next. But, yeah, so this ended up being my gun. You know, actually, even right now, it's still technically my gun. You know, this is my carry gun, actually. This is one of my carry guns. Like I said, this is, right now, 9+1 magazine capacity. I'm just going to double check. We are still recording. Cool. Excellent. 9+1 magazine capacity. Still carries 1 to 2 more rounds than your standard 1911. And it's in a significantly smaller profile. Just pretend that this is a 1911 even though it's not. But like I said, the profile is significantly smaller. Now, I get it. And Wayne, you were talking about in your video, you want to have a good full-sized, full-size, full-frame combat pistol. I know this doesn't quite fit that bill, but bear with me. This gun is pretty versatile in and of itself. It doesn't have any manual safeties that you have to flip per se in order to operate the weapon. But this gun does have pretty much 3 safeties. It's got the backstrap safety back here underneath the beaver tail. And it's got a double trigger, similar to that of all the Glocks. You have to basically engage this safety simultaneously while engaging that safety and then doing a full trigger pull on this thing to get it to go. Now, granted, this is also strike fire, which means there is no exposed hammer. So it's, like I said, this is kind of, it sucks the fact that, I honest to God, which do I prefer? Strike fire versus double action, single action. I like double action, single action. But this gun, I definitely made an exception for. I actually, at the time when I got this gun, I came that close to getting a Glock. Real close to getting a Glock. Ironically enough, the salesman that sold me this gun actually talked me into this one versus getting a Glock chambered in 45 ACP. Now, granted, I don't know much about Glocks because I've never owned one and I've never got to shoot one. I don't know specific models. I just know what a Glock looks like from, just looking at it from a picture. It's like, oh, that's a Glock. That's about all I can say. So, like I said, this will hold about 1 or 2 more rounds than your standard 1911. Now, I get it. There are magazines out there for the 1911 that are 9-round, 10-round, and 12-round capacity. Personally, I haven't seen any. It's not to say because I haven't seen them that they don't exist. But the reason why I bring this up is because I casually shop for magazines and parts and accessories for guns. Not buy anything per se, but do window shopping, okay? And get an idea of, how much certain items are going for. I don't see very many. If I see any at all, to be honest with you, anything past a 8-round magazine for a 1911. Okay. Like I said, this 9-round. I'm going to show you a little bit of magic, though. You want to see how you turn this short-ass little grip into a full-size grip? I'm going to check that magazine. Boom. Look at that. Full-size grip. This is a 13-round magazine with a grip extension. So, still not quite full framed, but a little bit more comfortable in the hand. Okay? And I feel very confident because based on how many times I've taken this thing out to the range to go shooting with, I feel very confident that I could probably, like I said, if it needs to be and shit hits the fan, I could definitely hit and take down a target with this. Okay? I say that more so than I would about my Beretta M9A3 series. Okay? And granted, this is a nice gun. Because I've fired so many rounds to this thing, like I said, I feel pretty confident. Like I said, I'm more accurate at this. And I'm sure that could change if I take this out shooting more often. But like I said, I can hit some targets with this pretty decently. That was a 13-round mag. This one is a 10-round mag. 10-round grip extension. Again, now with this mag, I can carry between 2 and 3 more rounds than your standard 1911. And still a little bit smaller profile. This one is also a 10-round mag, but it is... Oh, no, sorry, that one's a 9-round. My bad. I lied. This is a 10-round mag. This is also a 10-round mag. That's what I should say. This is a 10-round mag. It doesn't quite sit flush, and it doesn't really have like a full grip extension, but still smaller profile than your standard 1911. So one of the reasons why I prefer this over the 1911 is because I've got double stack mags. Okay, 1911, I just don't have that. Okay, that's one of the reasons why I prefer newer pistols. Not to say that, like I said, I want to emphasize, not to say I won't ever go get a 1911, but for this, you know what I mean? I can conceal carry this right now as it is, as we're speaking. Okay, this is a pretty concealable gun. This will definitely fit in the waistband pretty easily. This, on the other hand, not happening. Whoop. Man, I'm just determined to not have a good video. This, on the other hand, I'm going to have a harder time trying to conceal this, especially with the flashlight on. Same will go for the 1911 if I have one on the table here right now. Okay? So, like I said, biggest thing for me, ammo capacity. Ammo capacity and price. If I can't afford it, I'm not interested. And don't get me wrong, this is a very reliable gun. This is very reliable. And I don't have any cheapo aftermarket magazines. Every single magazine I have for pretty much all my guns are all factory made magazines. Okay, every single one. I don't have a single aftermarket mag anywhere. They're all, like I said, all my Springfield mags are made by Springfield. All my Beretta mags are made by Beretta. This ended up being my next pistol. This actually ended up being a pure accident. I ended up getting this. One of the reasons I would actually, like I said, I would rather have, if I'm going to be carrying a full frame pistol all the damn time, I'd rather have a Beretta, to be honest with you. Beretta, either 92 series or one of the M9 series. As you see, I got the M9A3. Right now, I've got 17 round mag for this, okay? 17 plus 1. I guarantee, hands down, I'm going to be carrying double the ammo capacity in this gun than I would be with any standard 1911. Okay? Now, I get it, and that Berettas have had their shortcomings, and they still do have their shortcomings. Namely, with this safety selection switch, there have been a lot of complaints about this thing. Troops not liking them. There's even certain sailors just didn't like this. And I want to be safe here. So it's empty. But for demonstration purposes, oops. I can, like I said, I can carry this thing with a hammer lock back if I want to. I'm not crazy about this, but unlike the 1911, I can't just, once that hammer's cocked back, I can't just ride it back forward again. You got that block, okay, that slide block. So that's one of the reasons why I prefer something like this. That's why I like the fact with a Beretta, I've got this decocker / safety. Okay, I like that. I get it. This ends up being the point of failure, and this was the point of failure back when I was in the Navy for a lot of the service pistols. Not so much for the pistols on our ship, but I'm sure it was definitely the case for the pistols that were on the firing range for people that were brand new shooters that were getting qualified to carry a service pistol. And yeah, Wayne was right. Wayne is definitely right. Those pistols were very well used, very well abused, not properly taken care of, and whenever they'd order replacement parts, yeah, they'd put just aftermarket shit on them. Now, again, he brought up the fact that some of these magazines, they weren't feeding correctly, probably because the springs were worn up. I didn't have that issue, thank God. Didn't have that issue. Maybe Beretta straightened out their magazines, or maybe we got lucky. We just had a good batch of magazines. I don't know. Didn't have any feeding issues with those Beretta mags. And right now, I've got a factory mag that came with this pistol. Okay, see, it's got matte silver finish and the coyote tan bottom plate. Right here, I got a black magazine with it's actually almost a blued magazine, with a shiny finish. This one is also Beretta manufactured. This is also 17 round. Been good mag. Both of them have. Not had any issues. Like I said, seats just fine. So, yeah, I would rather carry this over 1911. Now, I get it. This gun, like I said, it has shortcomings, okay? if any of you guys served in the Navy, if any of you remember going through boot camp, you'll remember that we did some training to stand watch. You know what I mean? Man, petty officer of the deck, roving watch for barracks room roving watch, or manning petty officer of the deck when you're serving on ship staff. You remember some of those training pistols. They looked very similar to the standard M9. Definitely had the same safety. I do remember the safeties on those actually falling apart. They had a manual safety like this, safety to cocker, that would literally fall apart or be just plain missing. I do remember that. But never had one of these actual working guns fall apart on me yet. Knock on wood, right? This gun, the other thing I'm going to say is, of itself, is starting to get kind of antiquated. It is showing its age. Part of the reason why Beretta lost out the contract with SIG. There is not a whole lot of versatility or upgrades you can do to this versus to that of a SIG. What do they call it? The P320 or what? I'm not sure what the new pistol is, but there's not a whole lot when it comes to upgrading the sights. You're basically stuck with the same sights. Okay, same sight picture. Granted, this is got glow in the dark front and rear tritium sights, but what I'm trying to say is, because this is a top eject pistol, I can't put a red dot on this. Honest to God, there's really not much I can run in terms of extra cool sights on this. So, this is starting to show its age. But I would rather have this than a 1911. Again, ammo capacity. Now I get it, 45, bigger hole. But 9mm, it's traveling about 400 feet per second faster than standard 45 ACP. So, I mean, which do you want? Bigger hole, faster projectile with better penetration. And I get it. We were talking about magazine capacity, that being one of my key reasons why I didn't, get a 1911 when I don't care to, because I won't justify myself in spending serious amounts of money on one. I get we've been talking about that, and yeah, I've got this. It's kind of ironic. Oh shit, what the hell are you doing with this, Diorce? You got a freaking 6-shot revolver, and you're talking about magazine capacity? What the hell's wrong with you? Well, 2 reasons why I've got a revolver. Okay, one, this is a 100% mechanical pistol. Okay, I just gotta point out we are empty right now. So when I point this thing, this is 100% mechanically operated. That means there is no gas blowback to index the cylinder or to chamber another round. You know what I mean? It is slowly on. It slowly relies on me either manually cocking the hammer into single action or doing a full double action trigger pull in order to go off. Unlike that of a standard blowback gas operated semi-automatic pistol, whether it's in strike fire configuration or if it's in single action, double action. I could have some lousy ammo or some lousy quality ammo that doesn't cycle these pistols right. That could be a problem. Won't have to worry about that with this. Also with this, I got the versatility of being able to chamber 2 different kinds of rounds. Either 357 Magnum loads or 38 Special. Something I can not say about most of the other pistols. You know what I mean? Being able to use 2 different kinds of pistol rounds. The reason why I got this is because actually ever since high school I've been wanting a 357. And this is the minimum entry caliber that you need to really take down any kind of bear when it comes to handgun, open, to a carry handgun of any kind. So, yeah. Sorry, it's a little bit long-winded, a little bit of a rant, but yeah. Just like I said, I'm not crazy about the 1911s, but I understand. Each their own. Like I said, it's just not quite my cup of tea. They said, honest to God, Beretta all day. Beretta all day for if I had to make a choice between 1911 and Beretta. Either that or a Browning High Point. Or Browning High Point. Browning High Power. My bad. Sorry, guys. I'm tired. It's late. It's 11:30. It'll be probably about midnight by the time this video gets uploaded. All right. Well, that's it. That's all I got. I'm yours. I'm out. You guys have yourselves a good one. Bye bye.